She said it was just a work trip, but I tracked her location and brought her parents to the hotel. The night she left for her so-called conference, I didn't cry, I didn't argue, I didn't even ask her to call me when she landed. I just stood by the door, kissed her goodbye, told her to have a good time, and watched her Uber disappear down the street. The second she was out of sight, I walked back into the house, sat down at her desk, and opened her laptop. Not because I was trying to catch her in something I already knew. You don't spend 7 years with someone and not recognize the shift. You feel it, even if you can't explain it. At first, it was just the little things. She used to vent about her job after dinner every night. Complaints about her boss, annoying clients, missed deadlines, you name it. Then one day, she just stopped. No more rants, no more stress, just work's been fine, and a quick scroll on her phone while she smiled at someone who clearly wasn't me. Then came the overnight retreats and off-site meetings. She used to hate traveling. She said unfamiliar hotel rooms made her anxious. She couldn't sleep without her own pillow. Suddenly, that anxiety disappeared. Now she was spending weekends away in cities she never used to care about, smiling more, sleeping less, and dodging my questions with vague answers about team building. So when she told me she'd be gone for a weekend leadership seminar in Chicago, I didn't push back. I just nodded, let her kiss me on the cheek like she meant it, and waited for the door to close behind her. What she didn't know was that her laptop was still connected to her iCloud account. Her iPad was synced with her text messages, and her location sharing was still active on our shared desktop computer. I wasn't trying to snoop, but liars get comfortable when they think you're too trusting to double-check. The first text I saw said, "I've missed you so much. I can't wait to feel your hands again." No name, just a number, and the kind of message you don't send a coworker. I didn't feel angry, not at first. What I felt was clarity. I'd suspected for months, and now I had proof. That's when the plan started forming in my head. The next morning, I called her mother. I told her something had come up, that it was important, and that I needed her and her husband to meet me at the airport that afternoon. I didn't explain why. I knew if I said the words cheating or affair, things would spiral fast, so I just told her to trust me. She paused, probably thinking I'd lost it, but she agreed. "We'll be ready," she said. "Just tell us where we're going." I didn't tell them. Not yet. All they knew was we were flying somewhere. Meanwhile, I knew exactly where she'd be, and I had receipts. The first one was from her Find My iPhone location. She said she'd landed in Chicago, but her phone was pinging from downtown St. Louis. When I saw that dot on the map, I felt my jaw clench. Not from surprise, but from validation. I called the hotel her phone was near, a boutique place with rooftop views and king-size tubs, and asked if someone by her name had checked in. I told the front desk I was her husband and wanted to surprise her with a gift. They confirmed she had checked in the day before, alone. I asked if she had any reservations or services booked. The woman on the line hesitated and said, "Yes, actually. A couple's massage, 4 o'clock today. That's all I needed." I booked a ticket for myself and her parents and kept the details quiet. On the plane, I didn't read, didn't watch anything. I just tracked that little dot on the screen. It moved from the hotel room to the spa and back. At exactly 3:55 p.m., she was inside the spa, likely wrapped in a robe and sipping cucumber water, thinking I was none the wiser. That's when I told her parents the truth, right there on the plane. Her mum gasped. Her dad didn't say a word. He just stared at me. When we landed, I took them straight to the hotel. I'd already called ahead to make sure we could get access to the top floor. Room 607. That's where she was. I had forwarded the booking email from her inbox to mine, just in case anyone needed proof. Her parents followed me through the lobby, confused but silent. I could see her mum was starting to put the pieces together, her hands shaking just slightly. Her dad? Stone cold. But I knew the moment we opened that door, everything would come crashing down. When we reached the 6th floor, her mother asked me once, in a shaky voice, "Are you sure she's in there?" I nodded, held up my phone, and showed her the real-time location tracker, still pulsing from room 607. She looked like she wanted to cry, but didn't want to believe it yet. Her dad stayed silent. I think he knew. Or at least, he wasn't shocked anymore. I knocked on the door once. No answer. Then again, louder. We all stood still. I heard faint movement from inside. A shuffle, a click, and then the door opened. She stood there, in a white robe, damp hair tucked behind her ears, and the second her eyes met mine, her face dropped. Not guilt, not sadness, just pure panic. She didn't say a word. She just stared at me and then past me, to see her mum and dad standing right behind my shoulders. Her mouth opened slightly like she wanted to speak, but no words came out. I stepped forward and pushed the door open wider. Her dad was the first to walk in. Her mum followed, hands shaking, face pale. I didn't go in. I stood outside. I didn't need to see what was inside. I'd already seen the text messages, the reservations, the locations. I didn't need to see the guy she was with. I just wanted her parents to know the truth for themselves. I heard muffled voices, her mother gasping, her dad saying her name in disbelief, and her trying to stammer out some lie that no one was buying. Then I heard a male voice, deep, confused, asking, "What's going on?" I stayed right there in the hallway. I didn't move. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I just waited. After about 3 minutes, her dad walked back out. He looked me in the eye and said, "Let's go." I nodded. Her mum didn't come out right away. I think she was crying, maybe yelling. I'm not sure. I didn't ask. We got in the elevator, went down to the lobby, and stood there for a moment before her dad turned to me and said, "Thank you for telling us." I didn't say anything. I didn't have to. They knew. Everyone knew now. The lies were over. But the damage? That was just getting started. We flew home that night. I didn't block her number. I didn't respond either. She sent a few texts. One said, "Please just talk to me." Another said, "It's not what you think." And the last one, a few hours later, said, "I'm sorry, I'll explain everything." I didn't read the rest. I just archived them. What more was there to say? She cheated. She lied. And worst of all, she involved her family in it. She betrayed people who defended her, trusted her, stood up for her. You know what the worst part is? I wasn't surprised. I didn't cry. I didn't even feel much at all. I'd already mourned the relationship weeks ago. The night she came home, at midnight, smelling like a cologne I didn't wear. That was the night I stopped seeing her as my wife. Everything after that was just evidence. The next few days were quiet. Her parents didn't call me. I think they were still processing it all. I stayed at my brother's place, told him the truth, and he offered to help with whatever I needed. That's when I started planning my exit. Not a dramatic one, not a vengeful one. Just a clean, final break. I pulled up our bank accounts, noted the balances, checked the names on the lease, the car, the shared credit cards. I listed everything we owned, everything we owed, everything we built. I wasn't going to fight for half of it. I was going to take what was mine and let her keep the rest. She could have the apartment, the furniture, the dog she claimed to love, but always made me walk. I just wanted out. She texted again the next day. This time, it was a longer message. She said she wanted to talk in person. She said it was a mistake. She said she loved me. She said the guy meant nothing. She said she'd end it. She said she needed time. I read the message in full. Then I deleted it. The only thing I responded with was a picture. Her text thread with the guy. The one that said, "I can't wait to feel your hands again." I added no words, no emojis, just the screenshot. She didn't reply after that, at least not for 2 days. Then came the letter. The letter came in a small cream-colored envelope, tucked under the door of my brother's apartment. No return address, no stamps, just my name, written in her handwriting. At first, I thought about tossing it straight into the trash, but something about it felt final, like it wasn't a plea or an excuse, but a last confession. So I opened it. It was 4 pages long, neatly written, no crossed-out lines, no emotional handwriting or tear marks, just words, structured, careful, deliberate. She said she was sorry. She said she didn't plan it, that it started with conversations, that he was just someone who listened, someone who made her feel seen. She said it felt harmless at first, just jokes, stories, work complaints, then drinks, then late nights, then one night became a routine. She wrote that it was never meant to be serious, that she didn't love him, that she never stopped loving me, that she didn't even know what she wanted anymore. But the part that stuck with me, the part I reread twice, was when she said she had been waiting for me to notice, waiting for me to catch her. Like some part of her wanted to be exposed so she didn't have to keep living in 2 different lives. That's when I realized she wasn't even apologizing to fix things. She was apologizing to make peace with herself, not with me. And I was supposed to carry that for her, make it easier, forgive her, let her move on without guilt. But I wasn't going to. She made her choices. I was just the one who watched them unravel. A week passed. I had started packing my things from the apartment. My name was still on the lease, and technically I had every right to stay, but I didn't want to be in that space anymore. Every object felt fake. Every couch, every framed picture, every spoon in the drawer reminded me of what she had destroyed. I left her the keys, I changed my number, I moved back into my old place. Quiet, simple, small, but mine. Then came the knock. She stood there on my front porch, not crying, not screaming, just standing, holding a folder. I didn't invite her in. I didn't ask questions. She spoke first. She said, "I know you probably hate me, but I came here to give you these." She handed me the folder. Inside were documents, divorce forms, already signed on her side. No fights, no demands, no delay. She had already removed her name from our shared accounts. She had cancelled the joint credit cards. She even transferred the dog's microchip information into her own profile. She'd made a clean cut. She looked at me and said, "You don't owe me anything. I just thought the least I could do was make this easy." I didn't know what to say, so I said nothing. I nodded and closed the door. I stared at the folder for a long time. Part of me expected some final twist, some trick, some catch, but there wasn't one. She had accepted it was over. Just like that. And honestly, that made me feel worse than if she'd fought for it, because it meant she had already let go, not just of me, but of the life we had, like it was never really hers in the first place. I signed the forms later that night, quietly, alone, no music, no movie in the background, just a pen, a signature, and the soft hum of a refrigerator in the background. 7 years together. And it all ended with a signature in silence. The next morning, I mailed the forms. Certified delivery. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I just moved forward. But forward doesn't always mean healed. 3 months passed. The divorce was finalized. My name was off the lease. Her number was gone from my phone. I'd rebuilt my daily routine from scratch. New gym, new coffee shop, even a new route to work, so I didn't pass the places we used to go together. I wasn't happy, but I was functional. And that felt like a win. Her parents reached out once, about a month after everything ended. Her mum called and asked how I was holding up. I kept it short, told her I was okay, told her I hoped they were too. She didn't bring up her daughter. I didn't ask. We both knew some things didn't need to be said. I'd almost made peace with it. Almost. Until I saw the message. It was a Tuesday morning. I had logged into my old email by accident. It used to be our shared inbox for bills and travel reservations, and I hadn't touched it in months, but something made me look. Maybe curiosity, maybe stupidity. There, in the promotions tab, was a flight confirmation, booked just 3 days earlier. Her name, 1 ticket, round trip to Denver, the same hotel she stayed at last year, the one she said was for a conference. Except this time, she hadn't used her name alone. She'd booked it using her maiden name. And the billing address wasn't the apartment, it was her mother's house. At first, I thought maybe she was just visiting family or trying to get away. But then I noticed the second name on the hotel reservation. It was a familiar name, not the guy from the spa, not the co-worker she claimed it was a mistake with. Number, it was my brother's name. And I don't mean a common name or a coincidence. I mean my actual brother. The one I stayed with during the divorce. The one who let me sleep on his couch while I filed the paperwork. The one who said, "Whatever you need, I got you." I felt my throat tighten. My stomach turned cold. I clicked the reservation link again. It was a couple's getaway package, private balcony, champagne included, 2 spa passes, dinner for 2. That's when it hit me. She hadn't just cheated and moved on. She'd stayed close. She'd waited. And while I was rebuilding my life, she had slipped into the one place I never thought to look. The one person I trusted when everything else fell apart. I called him. He didn't answer. I texted. Nothing. I drove straight to his place, my heart pounding in a way I hadn't felt since the day I knocked on that hotel door. He wasn't home, but his car was gone. 2 days later, I got a message from an unknown number. Just 3 words. "I'm sorry, man." No name, no explanation. Just that. I never replied. I didn't need to. That was the last time I heard from either of them. Now, it's been a year. I live in a different city. I change jobs. I see a therapist once a week, and I've started to feel normal again. Not whole, not yet, but normal. And even now, I don't think about her as much as I thought I would. But my brother? That's different. Losing her was betrayal. Losing him was a wound I didn't expect. And that's the part no one tells you about. The real damage doesn't come from the cheating. It comes from who they bring with them when they betray you. She said it was just a work trip, but it ended up being the trip that destroyed 2 families. And the worst part? They looked me in the eye the whole time and swore they loved me.